What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of CoD and Crime. This week's episode is actually going to be about Harry Powers. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm sorry that I'm a little bit late with this episode. Things have been a little bit crazy so far this past couple of weeks. I'm almost finished with my degree, so that's exciting. I will have graduated probably the next video that you guys get to see. I'm really excited for that, and I'm really excited for this video. So make sure you like and subscribe, comment, maybe tell me congratulations for graduating. It's been a long time in the making, but thank you guys so much for joining me. Let's get into it. Alright guys, welcome to CoD and Crime. So we're going to be discussing the Quiet Dell murders. This story is about Herman Drenth, aka Harry Powers, or Bluebeard of Quiet Dell. Also, real quick, I'm so excited that paintball is back in this. Like, Rush is so much fun. I love it. Oh, goodness, I miss just spawn hawking everyone. Anyways, Harry Drenth was born in the Netherlands in 1892. At the age of 18 in 1910, he came to Cedar Rapids, Iowa with his family, and at 32, he moved to Quiet Dell, which is near Clarksburg, West Virginia, and went by the name of Harry Powers. Real quick, I am from West Virginia. I actually have never heard of this, so that's really cool. I mean, it's not cool because he is obviously, not a good person. If not, we wouldn't be talking about him on CoD and Crime. However, this isn't something that I'd ever heard about growing up. Harry began his new life as an Oklahoma oil stock promoter, and Harry Powers is one of the many aliases that he would develop over time. So a woman named Luella Struthers owned a farm and a grocery store nearby Quiet Dell, and it posted an advertisement in Lonely Hearts magazine. So Harry would reply, and a year later they would actually marry. Powers wasn't satisfied with just one lonely heart. He wanted to find more women. So he would actually start to take out more personal advertisements filled with lies in hopes of getting the attention of other lonely, wealthy women. According to the U.S. Post Office, letters came to Powers at the rate of 10 to 20 a day. So Powers had a number of aliases, and one of those was actually Cornelius Pearson. By the way, I call my husband Cornelius. His name is Corey. He doesn't like it. I think it's funny. Now I'm not as intrigued by it. So as Cornelius, he began writing to a woman named Asta Eicher. She was a mother of three that lived in Park Ridge, Illinois, which is a Chicago suburb. Eicher was a widow who lived with her three children alone and found Cornelius through writing, and they would soon meet. The two would meet and leave together on a romantic getaway, and her three children would stay with a babysitter by the name of Elizabeth Abernathy. A few days after Powers and Eicher would leave, Elizabeth would get a letter from Asta saying Cornelius, or Harry, would be back to pick up the kids. Pearson and Asta's son would be seen at a Park Ridge bank, where Pearson, or Powers, would have Asta's son Harry to try and withdraw from Asta's bank account. The teller denied it because it seemed pretty sus, so Pearson, or Powers, he fled with the children. A while later, Powers would start to talk with Dorothy Lemke of Northborough, Massachusetts. He managed to convince her to move in with him in Iowa and to withdraw $4,000 from her bank, which was a lot at this point in time during the Great Depression. She didn't notice, but Powers had asked her to send her luggage to Fairmont, West Virginia, to Cornelius O. Pearson. Yes, his other alias. So while this is going on, police are investigating the disappearance of Asta Eicher and her three children. When they begin to look into the most recent people she had been in contact with, they found Cornelius O. Pearson of Clarksburg, West Virginia. Okay. Police in Illinois and West Virginia began to work together and realized that there was no Cornelius Pearson of Clarksburg. But in their description, it matched Harry Powers, so they arrested him as a suspect. When the Harrison County Sheriff got their search warrant, they actually found the terrifying horrors of Quiet Dell. Sheriff Wilfred Grimm and his deputies found multiple rooms beneath Harry's new garage he had built. They came across the bloody footprints of a child, a checkbook he had set fire to, and blood-soaked hair and clothing. People gathered as policemen began to dig into a fresh ditch behind Harry's house, and there they would find 5 victims of Harry's. He would go on to tell investigators that he was aroused by their deaths. They had found items belonging to people that they couldn't even identify, and when he was pressed about them, Powers actually muttered, "You've got me on 5, what would 50 more do?" So Harry Powers would actually be executed by hanging at the Moundsville Penitentiary on March 18th of 1932. So the Quiet Dell murders are absolutely horrifying, and you see this a lot in these kind of stories. They're just always so unsuspecting, and you know, this man, he was looking for love, but he was really just using it as a ruse to get these lonely women who, you know, didn't have very many people in their lives. They didn't have husbands. They were lonely. They wanted this man's attention, and he was a murderer. And it's really scary, you know, the fact that he said, "You've got me on 5, what would 50 more do?" To think that he could have murdered that many more people, it kind of makes you wonder. And it really makes you wonder if this started when he got to West Virginia, or if he had been doing things like this back when he was in Iowa, you know? But thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm really loving Rush. This is so much fun. I really hope that you guys stop back by. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye!